Welcome to the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, Delmont Gardens Grab and Go program, How to Draw 101 People. I'm Erica, the teen librarian, and I'm here to help you learn how to draw. Before we start, here are some scary rules. The first one is to have fun. The second one is to remember that while this is a lesson, it is also a guideline, so feel free to change things as you need to. The third is to not aim for perfection. Mistakes equal growth. And the last is that if you have a question, ask. You will not learn if you do not reach out for help. So the general anatomy rule is that it's a 1:7 ratio. That's one body is equal to 7 heads. The torso is usually 2.5 heads long, legs are about 3.5 legs long, the shoulders are a head each. So there's a bunch of different little rules that go with it. The thing to keep in mind is that when you're drawing a cartoon, they do not follow those rules. You could have a 1 body 5 head ratio, a 1 body 2 head ratio, etc., etc. It just depends on the style that you want to draw. The next thing to remember is that the human body is made of shapes. Heads are usually circles or ovals. Necks are rectangles. The torso, well, you get a lot of options there, but I'm using a triangle in this picture. Arms are rectangles. Hands are a combination of square and triangle. All joints are circles. Legs are rectangles. Feet are a form of rectangle. And you can see as it goes down that they're all really basic shapes. These things can change depending on the weight, the height, and the gender of the person that you are going to draw. So please feel free to mix and match different sizes and really enjoy and customize what you want to create. We could do a whole lesson on hands, but since this is a quick, brief overview, I showed you how to turn a hand into basic shapes. You're also going to be sent home with a little handout showing you how to break the shapes down. There will be more on that later at the end of the video. But remember, hands are fleshy, hands come in all different sizes, and hands are not flat. So look at your hand, draw those contours, make round lines, and just copy what you see. Always remember that everything breaks down into geometric shapes, but especially with the hand, you need to round them. Faces, there are 3 types of faces that I highlight here: the circle, the square/rectangle, and the heart shape. Of course, faces come in more than 3 shapes, and you are welcome to experiment and play with that all you'd like. I just wanted to show you a few simple and quick examples that you could follow or mimic, and I showed little examples below on the type of shapes that those outlines make. Eyes also come in many different shapes and sizes. Eyeballs are always circles, but the shapes that they fit in are usually different. You can add highlights, you can add shapes, and you can even change the way the pupil looks for fantasy creatures, so please have fun with that. Now for this craft, to be able to do it, all you need is some paper, a pencil, a eraser, because you're going to do some erasing, and something to ink your drawing with. The most important thing is to start with an outline. I am going to do a bust. That is a drawing that only shows the head down to the end of the torso about. That's because the paper just isn't big enough for me to do a really detailed drawing of a whole body without you not being able to see it. So you'll see here I measure out that there's about 3 heads or so, and I am going to draw the basic shapes and outlines. I'm running this part at normal speed. I'm going to speed it up in a moment just so that you can see how I put those shapes in and how I followed my stick figure outline. You can see I'm checking the shoulder length, and then I'm going to add the joints in. It's also around here that I realized that the head is way too small for the body I'm drawing, and I'm going to change that pretty quickly. Now I'm speeding it up here because I want you to be able to see how these shapes become the character I'm going to make. I'm not making anyone in particular. It's not from an anime or cartoon show. I just decided to create a face. I decided partway through if I was going to create a boy or a girl. Usually I have a clear vision in mind, but I decided to just create something so that you could see what happens when you're not trying to make something perfect. I decided not to have a clear vision and just create something for you to see. In this part here, I am going to be putting down the outline of where the features on the face are going to go. It's going to look kind of horrifying, I think, but the reason I do this is that I can plot out the features and figure out if the face shape is too narrow or too wide for what I want to do. It also allows me to decide if I want to make something bigger or smaller. For this drawing, I did a button nose. I love button noses. They're really cute to me. It's simply a circle, a line, and two little half circles next to it. I decided to make a girl, so I'm going with bigger eyes. That's mostly because I learned how to draw by drawing anime, and the girl characters normally have really big eyes. So that's why I did that. I like to swoop on the inside of the eye, like where your bridge of your nose would be. I like to curve it a little bit in my drawings because that gives it more of a 3D feel. I wanted them to be smiling as well, so I just created a little smiley face. You'll see in a moment that I add features like lips and eyebrows. I wanted some thick eyebrows, so you'll see those form in a moment, and the hair. I decide on all of that before I make the outfit because I want to get an idea of what the character looks like, and that usually gives me an idea of what kind of fashion I want to put them in. While you might think that fashion isn't super important when you're drawing, it is important to know the type of personality your character has, and many of us will pick our outfits to show what our personalities are like, from our funny t-shirt slogans to our kind of punk rock pants to even the makeup we wear. So it's good to keep that in mind, that your character is going to be as expressive as you are as a person. For this one, I decided, since the library was particularly chilly this day, I was going to put my character in winter wear, which is a scarf and a winter jacket. You'll see that I don't bring the scarf below where I put the shoulders because it's coming off of the shoulders, and the jacket is a little fitted, so you're going to see where I put the seams for the shoulders and the arms, and also where I cinch the waist in a little bit to show you that it's a more fitted fit. I'm also going to add in features now. It always looks super creepy to me before I give them eyes, and I don't know why. I'm also going to add texture to the jacket, which I will ironically take away when I ink it, but this is just because I realized it didn't fit the type of jacket that I created. The next step is to ink after you put in your features. Inking is a permanent part of the work, and it will solidify the lines you drew in and allow you to erase all these rough marks. So this is where I begin to ink. I always recommend using a good marker or a good dark pen. For this one, I used a Bic marking fine point permanent marker, and it was a little too thick for the finer details that I wanted to get in, but it did the job, as you can see. So I'm going to let this fast forward and play through and allow you to see how I inked and what I decided to keep and what I decided not to keep. I also, towards the end, use a little pen to get the finer, tinier details in to solidify those features that I didn't want to lose when I erased. This is the character that I drew for you in the tutorial. So you do not have to make one that looks like this, but those are the basic tools that you need to know how to draw those different parts of a character. I've also included as a little bonus some anime characters that you might recognize and how to put shapes over top of them and then draw them yourself. So this will be coming home with you in the Grab and Go to show you how to take your favorite characters, break them into understandable shapes, and turn them into drawings of your own. I hope that you guys have fun. If you have any questions, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next Grab and Go. Stay safe and stay healthy.